Well, here we are in another video. People have been asking me like, are you going to run out of content with the Games Workshop stuff? And the more notes I make, the more I'm like, no, like I'm just never going to run out of content with this thing. And I've been asked before by a few people like, oh, so were you ever gonna get tired of doing it? It's not as I said before, it's not a bit obsessive, and not really. It's just fun. It's just funny to talk about. Because, a lot of you may end up working there. You just never know. Like, a lot of you may end up just saying, no matter what I've said, you go, no, I'm living with my parents, I don't need rent money, or I just need pocket money. Then Games Workshop's the way to go. Go work there, So at the end of the day, it's a job where you can just go, do you know what? Fuck this, I'm done. And just leave if you want to. It's not a big deal. Again, I'm getting over a cold, so if the mic goes off for a second, I'm probably coughing. I don't want to cough down your ear. Because unlike when I'm gaming, I can give you all of my attention, which means I can switch off my mic at the appropriate time. So, oh, okay, cool. Sorry, not one thing, it's your mother. So, today I want to go on about... I love how I say the word go on about. Today I want to go on about random shitty customers, or random customers that have stood out to me over the years, just as an ensemble of different... the smorgasbord of people who come into a Games Workshop on a day-to-day basis. I've had all sorts. I've had bullshitters. I've had, probably sexual predators. I've had really decent people, good hobbyists. I've had celebrities. I've had tons of things. So, first thing I'll do is go on about some of the bad ones. So, one bad one was on my first day as a manager. A guy came in. My trainer was there, so he picked the worst day to do this, because I hardly had to do anything. But a guy came into the store. I'd just finished training that morning, so I'd got into the store, and we were training that morning. And finishing off my training anyway. And then the trainer stayed with me the rest of the day whilst I did the store, just to check if I was okay doing the store, You never know. He could leave, and I could have a breakdown. So, customers are coming in, and I'm doing my bit, and I'm selling some models, and having a good time. I'm thinking, yeah, this is for me. I'm loving this. And then this guy comes in wearing, to be fair, he doesn't look like stereotypical. He comes in jeans, t-shirt, just a normal, a backpack, just a normal looking dude. And starts talking about how he's won Warhammer 40,000 tournaments in the local area. How the last manager of this store really liked him because he basically kept the store open because he kept buying lots of things from the store. Okay, right. This went on for a good solid 10, 15 minutes of him just bragging and talking about what he did and what he, And I go over to just check something behind the till. I think I was looking for a bit of blue tack because I was sticking up some posters. And I heard my my trainer, who is, in his Games Workshop regalia, just say to him, "Oh, right, cool. So you've bought loads of things in the store before. You've literally kept the store open. Okay, cool. Are you going to buy anything today?" Now, I can't say that as a manager, really, because, it's very presumptuous, it's very rude, But he doesn't work here, so he didn't give a shit. He's like, "Yeah, so you're going to buy anything today?" And the guy, without a shadow of a second of doubt, said, "No." So basically, the last 15 minutes of bragging this guy had made was now null and void, because he wasn't going to buy anything. So at that point, my trainer's lost it with him and said, "Look, if you're not going to buy anything, we've got things to do, so, we've got to finish up training, we're going to do it." We didn't have to do that, but you want to get rid of him. We're going to finish up training, we've got to do so many other things, so yeah, we're going to leave you to it. And I never saw him again. He left me a bad review on bloody Yelp, the prick. No, he left me a bad review. And on Google as well. And, well, not Yelp, what was it called? What was it called back in the day? I can't remember. It was a store tracker in the town that we were in. He left me a bad review on it, and it just, we got people like that all of the time. We always got dick measurers. We always got people who came in, Titan guy notwithstanding, but we had people who'd come in and just talk non-stop about how great they were at the hobby, about how awesome their models were, about how many friends they had. I bullshit you not. You know, the worst people were the critiquers. They were the people who come into the store and they'd start critiquing other people's models. Now, one or two of these people brought in their own models and they were really well painted, and I was very much like, okay, yeah, those are really well painted models. Still, don't run down other people's models, asshole, but, you know, whatever. But you get that odd person who would come in and they would not have any models on them, and they would critique other people's models. You painted this wrong, you painted that wrong, or the heraldry's not quite right, or the... Dude, stop pushing your fucking glasses up your nose and just enjoy the hobby. You know, you know. One thing that Games Workshop really taught me to do was dislike customers who came in, and I know I'm going to lose a lot of people here when I say this, but dislike customers who would come in and use words like, or use phrases like, I'm going to run this list. I'm going to go run a list of, like, dude, it's not, what's the word? You know, it's not Dota, right? It's not an online competitive gaming space. It's just a store. Just come in and chill out and throw some dice. You know, you don't need to have the apex shit all the time. And the second customer I want to talk about is one thing I don't think is brought up enough when I've seen other channels that do sort of Games Workshop content, especially stuff that, you know, when they worked for the hobby, they worked for the company. When a customer comes in and they are, shall we say, mentally impaired. Now, they're not mentally impaired to the point where, you know, they need a minder. They're not mentally impaired to the point where they can't talk. They're perfectly normal. But you can tell by looking at them for a couple of seconds that there's something, you know, special about this person, right? They've got their own deal going on. Now, you know, doesn't bother me in the slightest. I'll talk to you the same way, whoever you are. But the thing is, I will also sell you models in the same way, no matter who you are. So this person would come in, and they would generally, every couple of weeks, they would come in, and they would drop, I'm talking £300 to £500 on models. And they say, oh, I may as well get this, and I may as well get that, and I may as well get this, and I may as well get that. I had no idea where they were getting this money from. Right? I have no idea. And when my trainer was there one day, I was dreading this person coming in, and of course they did. And let's call him Lucy. So this person, she's called Lucy. She comes in. And she says, you know, I really like the new Drukhari. You know, I really like them. I think I might start an army with them. And I'm thinking, okay, she's saying start an army. What she means is she's going to buy the army today, essentially. She's going to buy everything today. And so, when I know her prerogative is to spend as much money as she can, instead of bumping that upwards, I'll try and rein that in. You know, because I don't want somebody like a carer or somebody like that coming in and saying, from a very selfish point of view, I don't want a carer coming in from home saying, you sold all this stuff and it's wrong, and, you know, I don't want that. So I try and rein her in a little bit. So instead of saying, you know, instead of getting the 4 start collecting boxes, why don't you get 2, and then you get some homunculi because you really like those, and then you get some, you know, some flyers because you really like the look of those, and why didn't you get, you know, some of the flyers? Why don't you get the Eldar flyer and convert it instead of getting the 2 kits to make something else? You just paint the Eldar flyer the way you want, you know. Sorry, coughed. Why don't you just get the Eldar flyer and paint it the way you want? To which my trainer cleared his throat and called me over. And so I said, oh, I'll be back in a second. I walked over to him and he said, what the hell are you doing? And I said, I tried to explain, how do you explain someone is special needs when they're standing 3 to 6 feet away? You know what I mean? So I was like, I just think she'd be better served getting what I've given her, and not everything. I think she'd be better served doing that rather than And he said, well, that's not really your call to make. She can buy what she wants. And I was like, okay, I'll just let it go. That time I let it go because you know what, there was absolutely no point in me, talking about making a decision for her. There wasn't a point at that stage. I'm either going to get a full reprimand and a warning, So she ended up spending around £750 on Drukhari, and then she left. And for all I know, this woman had millions. She wasn't dressed that way. You would never, if she was walking down the street, you'd think this person didn't have two pennies scrubbed together. And she was very clearly special needs. A very childlike, And I felt, on the train home that day, I just felt so bad. I felt like I'd robbed her. I felt like I'd taken the money out of a purse and put it in my till. And of course I hadn't done that, but I felt like, that this was my responsibility to make sure that this person wasn't spending too much money on models and stuff. Don't get me wrong, there were other people who were I was happy to take money from because I knew they were doing well in life and I knew that this was their little escape. This is what they wanted to do. And, that I was fine with that. But this was a time when I felt proper bad. And I actually got trouble. It's really weird to admit it, but I actually had trouble sleeping. Like that night, I had trouble just getting off to sleep. Not getting off, but getting off to sleep. Because I was just I shouldn't have done that. And the next day, the next week, she came back in and I said, look, are you enjoying your Drukhari? And she said, yeah, I've built them all already. I was like, oh, okay, cool. So what are you here for this week? You going to come paint some of your new models? She said, no, I'm doing Eldar this week. And just bought another, I was like, okay, I'm not feeling bad about this one ever again. This is fine. But I don't know. There was just that one shaky moment where GW's policy of selling models and mine didn't quite line up. The next time the reason why I have this view on perhaps not pushing the sales completely all the time is when you refund stuff at a Games Workshop, that is a minus on my weekly total. I would have people, I'm not going to name the store, it was my old manager, I would have people buy stuff in that store, take it back to the store to get refunded, and then the staff there to be told, we can't refund you, but go to this other store a couple of miles away and they will refund you. Now, 9 times out of 10, the person wouldn't have it, so they'd have to actually refund it there and then. But there were times when people would come into my store to refund a product they hadn't bought they did not buy in my store. So my ex-manager would keep the plus. So if that person spent £100, that plus £100 would stay on his till, and I would get minus £100 from nowhere. How lovely. These are the people that you're working with, by the way. These are your colleagues. Thumbs up. So, the reason why I'm very careful about pushing sales when I'm in stores like that, or when I was in stores like that, was simply because I didn't want people coming back and taking that money out of my till again. It's such a demoralising thing to happen. Apart from one time, which is quite funny. So this man walks into my store in a suit. Very well-to-do, very well kept, and he loves dwarves. He just loves dwarves. The Hobbit had been out a few years now, and he was well into it, and he was loving it. He's like, look, I mean the films, not the books. The books are obviously ancient. And he said, look, I really want to buy some dwarves, and I hear this is the place to come to go and start modelling some dwarves. And I was like, yes. So I just had a Blood Bowl team, so I gave him one of my Blood Bowl miniatures to paint. I said, look, why don't you give this a go? And he said, isn't this yours? I said, yeah, but I've got dozens of these. You just paint this one and see how you feel. So he worked in his colour scheme there in the store, and he got one that he really liked, and he was like, this is great, I love this shit, this is great. Where are your dwarves? I said, right, okay, they're over here. So I was like, you can either have Caradron Overlords, which are these, steampunky dwarves, and his eyes just lit up. And he was just like, you gave me, I came in here for dwarves, but I love steampunk, and I love dwarves. And I was like, well, I guess you're going to want some Caradron Overlords. And I was pushing him towards the classic dwarves because I love the classic dwarves, you know. And he was like, no, 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 I want these. So I said, okay, cool. I'm going to cough 1 second. So, yeah, he said, no, I want these. So he bought around £600 of Kharadron Overlords. And he was really made up. He was really happy. And this is towards Christmas. He just got his Christmas bonus. And I said, you know, when he was giving me all that stuff, I was like, are you sure? You know, you can afford this? You're okay? And he said, yeah. He said, look, I've just had a Christmas bonus. You know, I'm going to give the rest to my wife for like other things, you know, the housing stuff, things like that. Okay, yeah, cool. You know, he flew out the store. He was so happy. You know, he had all his modelling supplies and stuff like that. Anyway, an hour goes by, and then 2 hours go by, and then this guy comes back into the store, the hangdog expression on his face. It's really ashamed and upset and, you know, miserable. He says, hi. I'm like, yeah, you okay? And I knew what was coming. He says, I just brought this home to the wife, and she said I can't have them, so I need to bring them back. And at that stage, I gave him a refund, of course I did, right? You know, I was fine with it. And I may have sneakily given him a box of old dwarves, right? Because you have to remember, I have thousands of these in the back, and they're never going to sell. So as Christmas present, I said I'd pay for it. You know, I said, there you go. Here are some dwarves, just as a little consolation, you know. And I said, he bought like a starter paint set. I said, keep that. That's fine. We'll make a deal. The starter paint set is on my KPIs, my key performance indicators. That's £25. If you keep that, then you can have these dwarves for free, and I'll refund the rest. And he said, yeah, that's brilliant. So I gave him the little box of dwarves, just a normal, you know, long beard set. It wasn't like a, you know. And he left. And I made a solemn vow to myself that if I ever have a woman like that in my life, that I wouldn't let her shit on my parade. If I've got a bonus and we paid the rent and everything's paid for, I didn't know whether he'd done that or not. I wasn't prying into his business. But if I've handled my business and I want to spend some of my money on what I want, go fuck yourself. I'm doing it. You know, like if I'm a good partner to you and I'm helping you out the house, I'm helping you out with everything that you need, and now it's my time. Yeah, I'm going to spend this money. If I want to throw this money in the fucking gutter, then that's my business. Do you know what I mean? That's my bonus, so I can do with it what I want. After I've done all my responsibilities and helped out the family, and I paid my bit, I've done my bit. The rest of it is and I put stuff into savings, and I can adjudicate that I can spend this money 5 times over without, you know, being in trouble. It's my business what I do with it, not yours, right? You know, and I would expect the same of her as well. She goes out and buys makeup or dresses or whatever, that's fine. As long as her responsibilities are taken care of at home, that's fine. None of my business, you know. It's healthy. And he looked so miserable when he came back in. He was just so upset. But, you know, happy tale. Happy ending of the tale. His wife did come in towards Christmas, and she bought at least half of what he left the store with that day. I'd made a note of it. It was still there. Goes, all of the big refunds, I always kept I always printed it off on the till just in case my manager or somebody like that came around, my area manager. So she came in and she said, yeah, what was he buying? What did he really like? And so I gave her the receipt and I said, I think he'd really want this, and this, you know, of the 8 things that he got. And she bought 5 of the 8 things. So, you know, there you go. And that was his Christmas present. So I think he was very happy. And, you know, I saw him again a few times before I left the store. So, celebrities. Let's go into celebrities. And by the way, I've got these are like I've cherry picked 3 customer stories out of 20. You know, so I could do these every week, but I'm not going to. I'm going to change the story up next week to something else. But so celebrities. So one. So I'm adjudicating the stores I often do on a rainy Tuesday afternoon, and I'm chilling out, and I know that this comedian is doing a gig in the city that night. And, you know, I'm not going because I don't really go to comedy gigs, but, like, I like him. And Bill Bailey strolls in. He just strolls into the store. And he goes, Oh, fuck's sake. I hate ads. I hate ads, man. Fuck off. Royalty free my ass. So he comes in and goes, here's the place for models. Models, yeah? Models? And I just turned around like, that sounded like a confident voice, and there's Bill Bailey. And he walks over and he's just like, you alright? And I said, yeah. How's it going? You're Bill Bailey, aren't you? He goes, yeah. Not want some models. And I was just, just completely flabbergasted. Like, okay, cool. What are you looking for? And he goes, elves. Just elves. Love elves. So I take him over. I'm like, okay, elves, cool. Let's have a look at, we were talking like space elves, or we're talking fantasy. You can normally tell by the way somebody's talking about it if they've been into the hobby before. So I said to him, rather than saying John Eldar or, high elves, I said, do you want fantasy elves or sci-fi elves? And he goes, "Is sci-fi elves?" I was like, yeah. Let me show you these Eldar things. So I showed him the Eldar. We talked about the Eldar for a bit. And he was just really, really happy with them. So he ended up buying... actually, I'll get to that at the end of the story. So there's a few people coming into the store, recognising who he is. And I just leave him to it. I'm just like, do you know what, Bill? I'm just going to let you leave to it, man. I'm going to go over here and chill out for a while. Anyway, whilst I'm doing my own thing, Tool comes on. Because I put my own music on in store. And Tool came on the overhead, the music. And he just... So I'm just there sorting out things behind the till. And he goes, right, nearly at the top of the song, he goes, fucking sweet. We're full of kids, by the way. Kids in the corner, kids over there, fucking sweet. And I was like, yeah, what am I going to do? Run over to Bill Bailey and tell him to stop swearing, Anyway, he comes over and he has a start collecting box, some paints, some pliers, all the things that he needs. And he says, what's that? How much is that thing up there? And he points to the Tau Riptide, thinking it's Eldar, And I'm like, that's for another army. That's for Tau. They're these, like, Gundam fish people. And he just laughed and said, he just laughed, and he's like, you could see, like, the pseudo-Japanese racism in there. He's like, oh, okay. And I showed him a picture of the Tau. And and I said, but the Eldar do have their own version. So I pulled him over and I showed him the Wraith Knight. And he just took it straight out of my hands and went straight to the till. And I was like, okay, cool. So, he spent about £200-300. And he went, right, something to do in the hotel. And just left. That was it. He shook my hand, see you later, have a good one. That was it, right, something to do in the hotel, see you later. And I was like, okay, cool. And he left. So that was one of the two celebrities. The other one was a minor celebrity. Marcus Brigstock, who is a comedian, came in buying something for his son. And it was for Christmas, someone just getting into Warhammer, into Space Marines, and it was a bog standard, I knew who he was, he knew I knew who he was, that sort of a thing, but I didn't really, pull too much attention towards it, because he's not that big of a name, he's just a normal comedian, basically. And he came in, he bought the start collecting box for Space Marines, and bought Dark Imperium, and that was it, that he was gone. So those are my celebrity stories for that store. And those are some interesting customer stories. Now, so every couple of weeks I'll probably do another interesting customer story, because I met so many interesting, weird, wonderful people, and sometimes bad people at Games Workshop, that, I could do these forever, basically. But next time we're going to be doing a proper story about the store that I worked in that I wasn't a manager in. So, I will speak to you guys next time. Have a good week, guys. Have an amazing, amazing week. Oh, also, if you feel like buying me a beer, because I keep forgetting to do the YouTube thing, because I'm not a very good YouTuber. I'm not a very good e-beggar. If you feel like buying me a beer, head on over to Patreon. It's in the description below. And yeah, I'll be appreciative. I'll be drinking that beer thinking of you. Well, no, I won't. I'll be thinking of the beer. But I'll be subconsciously thinking of you. Have a good week.